Hi everyone. Today we will see the page layouts and data loader. So today's agenda is we'll go through the page layouts. What is the page layout? How to set up the page layout, and we'll have a homework and we'll talk about the data loader setup, how to install the data loader for the first time, and what are the pre-installation steps that we have to do. We'll go through the step by step, and everybody has to install the data loader in the class. And then we'll install the Java runtime environment, and we'll install the data loader and data loader installation steps 1 to 6. And then we'll have a trailhead referral link. Now, page layout. Now coming to the page layout, what is the page layout? What is exactly the page layout, and why we need a page layout? So let's take a scenario. The scenario is, as we know that whenever the object is created, let's suppose customer is an object. Whenever it creates, Salesforce by default creates the table in the database.com with the name called customer__c. And also Salesforce will create the tab customers, and Salesforce will create a class business logic. Salesforce creates a business logic name, which is the same as a table name. So customer__c. So this is what it's created by the Salesforce, right? So along with this, on the tab, like in the table, what are the fields? It will be there. There are 5 fields which are by default Salesforce gets created: ID, name or auto number, and created by, last modified by, and owner ID. So these are the fields by default. It gets created by the Salesforce, and these fields get stored into the table. Now tab is nothing but user interface. Whenever the user log into the Salesforce, when they click on a tab, that means user is interacting with the customer object. Now whenever they click on a tab, whenever user click on a tab, along with these 4 options, Salesforce also providing one more thing, which is called page layout. Along with this, Salesforce is automatically creates the one page layout. So what is the page layout name? Which is similar to the what are the object customer. So this is the object name, and it will add a layout. So this page layout resides inside the tab, because whenever we click on a tab and whenever we click on a new button, that time the layout gets open. That means this page layout is inside the tab. It resides the tab. So page layout name by default, Salesforce creates a one page layout as soon as we create a object. So the page layout name is whatever the object name is, and then it will add layout. And what does page layout contains? In the page layout, we have a different things. In the page layout, we have a fields. What are the fields that user has to enter, right? What are the fields that has? That means page layout is providing the collection of graphical user interface. Whenever the user log into the Salesforce, whenever they click on a Salesforce page, they click on a tab. So there are user has to enter certain information in the Salesforce. So first they have to enter first name, last name, phone number, mobile, and another information they have to click on. So there is a collection of information. Page layout provides a collection of graphical user interface. What is the first section? What is the second section? And this is used by the user. That means page layout provides a collection of graphical user interface to be used to manage the record inside the associated object. Now, if I go to the Salesforce, now if I open the account, whenever I click on an account and whenever I click on a new button, what is happening that it is showing me the certain graphical user interface, right? So till this point, one information, from here, another information. So that means we are able to manage multiple fields in a certain format. We are able to merge or combine certain fields or group certain fields which are related to a specific information like a address, which are billing address, shipping address. We combined everything and we placed into the address information. So we are able to manage the record by adding the certain header here. And in this thing, we have a different information which is stored here. So by using this page layout, what we can do, we can perform all the DML operations on the object. So I can perform save. Save is nothing but insert. And I can perform update. I can perform update. Also, I can perform a delete, right? Also, we can view the record. We can view the record. And also, we can undelete the record. How can we undelete the record? If I go to the recycle bin, I can undelete the record. So everything is possible by using the page layout. If we do not have a page layout, we cannot do anything. In Salesforce, page layout is a keyword. Very important page layout, because without this page layout, we cannot do anything. Everything is happening within this page layout. Though the Salesforce is creating object, table, tab, business logic, if you do not have a page layout, user cannot interact with the object. So page layout is very important must, which will decide what is the data to be displayed to the user, how we are going to display the user. So let's take an example. Let's say, for example, if I go to the ICICI Bank, for the ICICI Bank, it is going to ask information here. That means I have a different users here. So this ICICI Bank can be held by multiple people, right? So ICICI members are like a VIP customers, loan customers, personal customers, salary customer. So there are different customers who are using the ICICI bank details, right? So it is going to ask which customer are you? Which customer are you? Are you a personal customer, or are you corporate banking, or are you NRI banking, or you are using it for the money to India? So whatever these options are there, based on that, if I say personal, what will happen? It will open the page that is related to the personal login. This is personal login, where I have a personal banking tab, privilege banking tab, and wealth management tab, private banking tab, NRI tab, corporate, and we have a user ID and a registered user ID, like how to log in. So this information is there. But let's suppose I'll say that I am a corporate banking. That means I am using this bank account for my business purpose. I'm using the bank for the account that is there. I'm using it for my business purpose. When I click on that business purpose, see here, the entire screen gets changed. right? I clicked on a login. Here also I clicked on a login, but these two screens are completely different, right? These two screens are completely different. If I say corporate banking, then it is going to log in with different information here, login ID, password, and it is asking me go directly on dashboard or a single payment, bulk payment, tax, right? These all information it is asking me. When I say personal login, that means I'm using it for my personal. It's not for business. Then I have a user ID here and the start in, which says that fund transfer, bill payment, recharge, investment, which is my personal details. But both are having a login. But see how different here it is. So whatever you see this page, this is a page layout. Based on the user, we are redirecting to the different page layouts. In Salesforce, we have a different users. We have a different users. When I say different users, different profiles are there. One is internal. One is internal. Let's say internal profile. That means internal users. And another one, IT users and non-IT users. Non-IT users. So when internal user click on this customer tab, when internal user click on a customer tab, it should show different view. When IT user log into the customer, IT user log into the Salesforce, and when they click on a customer tab, it should show different. It should show the different page layout. If non-IT user log into the Salesforce and when they click on a customer, it should show different page layout. All three members has a different layout. So internal user, when they come to the customer tab, when they click on a customer tab, it shows a different page layout. When IT user click on a customer tab, it shows a different page layout. When non-IT user clicks on it, it shows a different page layout. And we can arrange the fields also. For example, here it is showing the field 1, field 2, as well as we have a field 3. Right? So IT user just need a only field 1. IT user does not need F2, F3. Non-IT user just need a F2 and F1. Let's suppose here I have a field called passport. Right? I have a field called passport, which is needed for the internal users. When I say internal, whoever is taking the interview, they should know that whether this candidate has a passport or not. Whereas IT users does not need to know the passport user. Let's say that here IT passport is there, travel required. Travel required. These two options are there. Now, internal user, IT user should see both the fields, whereas non-IT user, that means HR team may not require this travel required option. They doesn't want to see this. They are just wanted to know what is the position that is open, and whether it is a position is still active or a closed. They just wanted to see these two information, position, name, and position status. They are just interested on these two non-IT users. Whereas IT users and internal users, all the fields they wanted to see. We can modify this. That means developer or a Salesforce developer or a Salesforce admin has a complete flexibility to update the standard page layout, the one which Salesforce has created, customer layout. They can modify it, as well as they can create the developer and admin can create a new page layout. New page layout. Like for example, here as I have discussed, here the user is corporate banking. When the user is corporate banking, then it is showing me the different page layout. When the user is a personal, then it is showing me different page layout. Similarly, in Salesforce also, we can build different page layout based on the person who is logging into the Salesforce or who is logging into the community. So based on that, we can show the different page layouts. So page layout provides a collection of graphical user interface to be used to manage the record inside the associated object. So page layouts are always linked to the object. Always, whenever the object is created along with the tab, along with the table, it also creates the standard page layout. Salesforce creates the standard page layout. Now, by using the page layout, we can perform all the DML operations on the object record. Like we can insert, we can update, we can delete, we can view, we can undelete, everything, all the DML operations can be performed by the user on clicking on the tab. They can perform everything. Now, so upon creating the custom object, by default, Salesforce provides a separate page layout like a, for example, if we are creating the account, like there is an account, then Salesforce creates the account layout. If there is an object name called contact, so we have a standard layout, standard page layout is contact. Similarly, for the lead, opportunity, right, everything we have. If it is a custom object that we are creating, if it is a position, then it is going to create a position layout. Right, so by default, Salesforce creates one layout, which we can modify it. Any questions here? Okay. So the Salesforce developer admin can create additional page layout for the object based on the business requirement. Like as I have explained, if business requirement, they say that, okay, we have a 3 different users. All the 3 different users should see different page layout and they should have a different field access. Then we will be creating the developer or a admin will be creating the different page layouts. Now, how can we go to the page layout? Navigation steps are click on an object manager and then click on the required object name, example position. So we have an object called position. So if I go to the object manager, so let's search for the position. So we have a position here. Now, click on the option page layout from the left panel. So below the fields and relationship, there is an option called page layouts. Below the fields relationship, there is an option called page layouts. When you click on a page layouts, by default, you can see one layout which is sitting in the page layout. When it was created on March 7th. So that is the same date when we have created that's the same date which we have created the position object. So let's say created by. Here also cannot see. Let's say name, we have a name. Okay, on the same day, it got created the page layout. On the same day, it created the page layout. Now, we can see that there is only one page layout. In case, if I wanted to create a new page layout, I don't want to use the existing one. We know that there is an existing one here, page layout, but I don't want to touch existing one. If I have to create it, you have to click on a new button. So there is an option called new button. By clicking on this new button, it will open up the screen to ask you to enter certain information. Now, whenever we are creating a new page layout, first choose the existing layout, because in the real time, whenever we are creating the new page layout, let's suppose that object has 20 fields. Object has 20 fields. If you create a new page layout altogether, you need to again drag and format. Everything will be, you have to do it from the scratch. If you do not use any existing page layout, you need to start it from the scratch, which is very painful. So instead of starting from the scratch, always use the existing page layout. Always use the existing page layout, which you can modify later also, So let's suppose I wanted to create here IT position layout. IT position layout, click on a save. Now the page layout is created. This is a new page layout. And just click on a save for now. So it is going to save. Now I have two page layouts here. One is position layout, another one IT position layout. I have two page layouts. So we have selected the existing page layout and we have given the new page layout name. And then we clicked on a save button. Once it is saved, it opened the page layout. Again, you have to click on a save. If you want to make changes, you can make a changes. So now, as soon as it opened the page, on top section, you can see here, the top section is having a two things. One is there is a left panel and the right panel. It has left panel and the right panel. Left panel is going to tell what are the fields, button, quick action, or related list. It is like a heading. It's like a heading. So if you select a fields, all the related fields will be displayed in the right panel. If you click on a button, all the buttons, whatever there in the object, will be displayed here. So based on the click on the left panel, the right panel will reflect it. Now let's suppose, now I'll go to the position layout. Now here I can see the left panel and the right panel. So left panel, which will give a heading or the information, which fields or what you are looking for it. So if I'm looking for buttons, click on a buttons. The right panel will reflect. Now, if I'm looking for a quick action, so it will show all the quick action. Now, I'm looking for a mobile lightning actions. It will reflect this. If I'm looking for a related list, then this will be reflected. So these all related list, right? So everything based on the left panel button click, the right panel will be showing all the related information. In bottom, you can see here all the page layouts or everything, the fields, everything you can see here. Now, each page layout, you take any page layout, whether the custom page layout or a standard page layout. Take any page layout, every and each page layout contains the two modes. That means it has a two different modes. One is edit mode, or a edit layout, or a edit page. And the second one is detail mode, or a details layout, or a details page. Now, when we go to the Salesforce, if I click on here, let's go to the position. If I click on a new button, new button. So it is allowing me to enter the information. This is allowing me to enter the information. That means this is the edit mode. Either you click on a new or you open up the existing one and click on a edit button. Edit buttons, right? So these all the one which is edit mode or edit page or edit layout. Default view is nothing but once we click on a save button. For example, right now I'm creating the new record. When I create the new record, I'll enter all the information, click on the save button. Upon clicking on the save button, a record gets created which will open in the default view. That means it's just for the view purpose. It's just for the view purpose, it is going to display. This is the detail page. Detail page or a detail layout. So details mode is where I can view the data in the read-only view. You can edit it, but it's a detail page is going to show you all the information. Whereas edit mode, edit layout, edit pages where you can edit or enter the information there. So user has a flexibility to enter the data or edit the data. So edit mode will represent the fields on the page layout in the editable format, which is new button, edit button. Detail page is whenever you click on a save button, the record will save back to the database and it will redirect back to the detail page. It will take the user back to the detail page. Right? So that is the details mode. Now, Salesforce developer administrator can customize the page layout by Salesforce based on the Salesforce or based on the business requirement. As I have explained, we have a full flexibility on playing with the page layout. Now, can make the field required read-only in page layout. Now, by default, whenever the Salesforce creates a page layout, by default, it will add in a single column. By default, Salesforce add all the fields in the single column. If I create any new field, it will be displayed below the position description. Everything is added in the single column. By default, Salesforce adds everything in the single column. Now, if I click on a new button, now everything I can see here, single column. And if I go to the detail page layout, so if I go to the detail page layout, everything in the single column. Now, we have a complete flexibility to make it in two different. It is basically two column structure. Page layout is two column structure. In the table, I can create a two columns. Now that means here field 1, field 2, field 3, and then we have a field 4, field 5, field 6, field 6. So this is how the page layout displays. So this everything sits into the page layout. So page layout is having either two column or one column. That is, you can decide it. So this is the field 1, field 2, field 3, and field 4, field 5, field 6. This is how the page layout can be configured. But by default, Salesforce is displays everything into the single page, everything into the single page. Now you see here, position name, location, number of vacancies, position status, open date, milestone date, minimum pay, maximum budget, HR email, HR contact number, everything is mixed. I can see all the data is there, all the fields are there, that is there. But it's, if I want to suddenly go to the minimum budget or a maximum budget, or if I wanted to go and check the milestone, as soon as I go there, my focus should go to that section. So if it is like this, I cannot do, because I have to check one by one where is my milestone date. Let's suppose I want the milestone date and the open date should be in a different section. Now here, everything into the information, everything into one section. Now in case if I want to add any other, that means I wanted to divide this, whatever we have the information. So if you go to the account, now if you open the record, when you go to the account, right? So if you go to the detail section, now if you click on account, new account, so here account information on top, whatever you can see, this is the account information. And then this is the address information. Now suddenly if I wanted to go and check what is my address information, I need to check each and every field here. But if I have a separate section here, address section, so I can check what is my billing address, shipping address. I can go to directly check in the address information section. Additional information which have a related to SLA or different thing. Description, I can check everything here. So the fields are organized very well, so that if I wanted to verify, if I wanted to look at any information, I can directly jump onto that particular section and I can view the information. Now I'm going to build similar format. I'm going to build similar format for the position, because position does not have anything. Position by default, everything is showing in the step by step here. All it is showing line by line. Now what I'll do is I'll drag this section and I'll add it here below. So which is on top of system information, which is on top of system information. So when I place that, as soon as I place, it is going to ask me the first set up the properties of section. First set up the properties of section. So let's say this is my, assume that milestone details. This is milestone details. This is my section name. And here we have a two options. Here we have a two options. That means this particular section, whatever we are creating it, do you want to see in the detail page as well as the edit page, or only in the edit page, or only on the detail page, not on the edit page? So basically, if you go to the account here, if you go to the account, and if I open up, this is my detail section. Does my detail section has the sections here? It does not have. Detail page does not have any sections. Now, if I click on a edit, if I click on a edit, still it does not have anything. But when I click on a new button, there it is showing me the certain information here, certain information. Now you can decide it. You can decide it whether you want whatever we are implementing it. That means if the user has to enter the fields during the creation of record, then yes, I need this to be displayed on the edit page as well as the detail page. Now the layout, it is going to ask, do you want to go for a one column layout or a two column layout? One column layout, by default, it is a one column layout. Now maximum we can go to the two column. Now in case if you wanted to go for a 3 columns, 4 columns, then we have to go for a visual force or a lightning aura or a LWC. So that means we have to customize our page layout in order to display the more columns, more than 2 columns if you wanted to display, which is not possible with the page layout. We have to implement it using the Visual Force or Lightning Aura or LWC. That is, by using that, you can implement more than 2 columns. Now, tab key order. Tab key order is left to right, top to bottom, top to down. Now, left to right. So, left to right is nothing but, for example, user has entered this. User has entered the data. When the user has entered the data, where the tab should, I clicked on a tab. I have entered the data and in my laptop, I clicked on a tab. As soon as I clicked on a tab, where my cursor should go? Cursor should go here or cursor should go here, which is decided by the tab key order. Now, if you say left to right, your cursor will go to the, after when you click on a tab here, it will go to the field 4 and then it will come to field 2, then it goes to the field 5 and then it goes to the field 3 and it goes to the field 6. This is left to right. If you select top to down, then in that case, as soon as you enter the data in the field 1, then the cursor, if you click on a tab or hit a tab button in your laptop, the cursor will go on to the field 2, then field 3. Then once it is completed all the fields in the first column, then it will move to the field 4. Then from the field 4, it goes to the field 5, field 6, whatever the fields which we have in the second column. That is decided by the tab key order. Tab key order. So by default, I'm giving as a left to right. Click on OK. Now my section has been created. In case after creating this section, if you wanted to make any changes or if you wanted to remove it, so this is the icon. If you hover on this, it will show that to remove that particular section. Or if you wanted to change the properties, you can click on that this icon. Now, in this milestone, I want the milestone date should be displayed here, and then open date should be displayed here. Now click on save. Now the position layout is updated. Let's go to the position. Click on new. It takes time to reflect. Okay. So that is position. What are the milestones that we have added? It is added into the separate section. Similarly, by default, what are the information section is there, right? So I wanted to make changes to that also. Now let's see here. Now we have something related to salary, right? Minimum pay, maximum budget. So these two I'll take out from the information. I'll create a separate section here. Let's say that compensation details, detail page, edit page, 2 columns left to right. Perfect. Now I wanted to move that minimum pay should go to compensation and maximum budget should go here. Perfect. That is done. And something which we have a HR email ID, HR contact, right? And also passport required, travel required. These all are there. So these all I'll move into the additional information. So drag the section here and place it below the or above the system information. So above the system information. So let's add additional information. Click on OK. Now I'll move the HR contact number to the additional information, HR email ID to additional information, passport required, onto additional information, travel required, here, perfect. And what else we have? Skills required, position description. So let's add another section here, which is a description. Position description. I'm adding one more, which says that position description and position skills required. Perfect. Now that's all. So I'll arrange this also, location here, number of vacancies, position status here. Let's keep the owner this side, or let's make the owner on top. Perfect. So let's click on save. Now we have a save, quick save, right? So quick save is nothing but if you save this and stay in this page. Keep this page open. If you click on a save, what will happen? It will save this, it will redirect it to the page layout. Now, if you click on a quick save, that means you save the page and be in this page only. Do not go to any other page. So in that time, you can click on a quick save. Now, once you have done implementing the page layout, we have a different users, different profiles in the Salesforce, right? If you wanted to view as that user, so let's suppose I wanted to view as a standard platform user. So if I click on a standard platform user, so this is how I'm going to view the information as an end user. This is as a different user. I'm viewing as a different user, which is a standard platform user. This is how the data will be displayed. Owner, position name, location, number of vacancies, milestone data. If you wanted to minimize, you can minimize. Compensation details, additional information, position description. This is how it is going to display as an end user. So you can test it in the real time. If you are modifying anything and if you wanted to view as a different profile, you can click on this preview as, select that particular profile. Select that particular profile or a profile, and then you can view as that profile user, right? So that is preview as. Now let's go here. Let's refresh. Still it is not updated. Let's refresh again. Okay. It takes some time. Let me log out. Switch to Lightning. Let's go to the sales. Click on position. Click on new. Right. So now you can see the information. Right. This location is taking a lot of space. So what I'll do is I'll move down, click on save. Any questions?
Swapna, whatever we have created custom objects that are showing under the object manager, but how to see in the app launcher? Where?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, whatever we have created custom objects that are showing under the object manager, but not showing like account contacts in the app launcher. Did you understand?
No, I did not get the question.
If we create any custom object, that created custom object is showing under object manager, but
Okay.
not showing in sales or marketing or anywhere.
Have you created the tab?
Okay, we have to create tab.
Yeah.
Means we have to select the option.
So while creating the object, we have a one option to select the tab. If you do not create the tab, if you do not check the tab, then you will not see those custom objects.
Okay. Okay. It will show. Do we have option to available in only marketing or sales, or it will show anywhere?
It will show. Otherwise, you can go to the tabs. Right now, you have already created the custom object, right? So
Yes.
go to the tabs and select whatever the custom object that you have missed to create a tab. So click on here, new.
Okay.
And you can see those custom objects here.
Okay.
So create the custom object.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. No. So if I go here, click on a new. Okay. So it is taking the owner, position, and then position name. Now it is seeing the milestone details, compensation details, additional details, position, right? So these all are there. Now position, the one which we have created two columns. But let's make this change into one column. So go to the page layout, click on page layout. So I'm changing the position description in one column. Click on OK and click on Fix It. So you can see that changes gets applied into the page layout. Not only the new page layout, if we have already records that are already exist, if you click on that record also, you can see the information will be applied here. You can see the information, whatever we have created, that gets applied to the existing records as well. Okay, till this point, any questions? Also, we have a related list in case if you go to the position and if you want the related list. Now, if you wanted to add or remove any related list, so click on this in the left panel related list and you can either add, remove, everything you can do it. So if you wanted to add, you have to drag this here. If you want to remove it, you can click on this remove button, minus button. If you click on a minus button, it will be removed. Similarly, if you have any mobile lightning actions or quick actions, starting you will see that this action in the section are currently inherited from the global publisher. So just click on this override. That's okay. That is just a message. Click on override and whatever the quick actions that you wanted to place it. For example, if you wanted to add a new node, so just place it here and click on it, save. Yes. Similarly, for Salesforce Mobile Lightning Experience action, initially you see this message, and if you click on an override, you can see all the buttons here. You can remove these buttons. These are the by default buttons which are shown here. These all are by default buttons which are shown. Any other questions on the page layout? So once the page layout is created, we can assign this page layout to the different users. That means if I click on the page layout assignment, if I click on page layout assignment, click on this here, edit assignment. So when you click on edit assignment, you will see here a different profile. Let's suppose standard platform user. Position layout, it should display the IT position layout. Instead of a position layout, this should have a different layout. So select this and then select the layout, right? So standard platform user. So standard platform user, IT position layout is assigned to the standard platform user. So whenever the standard platform user click on the custom tab, the position tab, they will see the layout which is related to the IT position layout. Now, do we have anybody here? Standard page layout, standard platform user? Now, view users. Now we have Srinivas is there. Let's log in. If I log in as a Srinivas, IT position layout does not have any sections. It is a normal, it is there. It does not have any other information. Click on view all. Now, do I have a position tab here? No, it's not there. So first we need to check whether the position object access is there or not. So we need a standard platform user. Now do we have an object here? Object, standard object. Okay, and then custom object. So let's give the access to the patients. We have position. Okay, they do not have access to the custom object. Fine, but in the real time, we will be assigning the different page layout for the different users. Okay. Any other questions on the page layout? So homework is the one which I have given, I think last week, customer demographics. Creating the custom object, customer demographics. In the customer demographics, I have given certain fields, right? So what are the first name, last name, date of birth, gender, residence, permanent address, and temporary address, number of years, residency number, mobile number, residency own, nationality, PAN number. These all should go into the customer demographic details. Section called customer demographic details. Create a separate page layout. Create a separate page layout and modify that page layout and add the section customer demographic details and also add the another section occupation details. Whatever you see here, occupation type, employment sector, company name, office address, designation, number of years in current employment. So these all should go into the occupation details. And number of dependents with the relationship details should go into the other information required. And also I have given the policy type, refer, total policy, whatever the policy related are there and the product related are there, everything should go into the product preferences. The section called product preferences. And then current insurance policy details, all the policy related, like a type of policy, insurance provider, policy start date, policy expiry date, sum assured, death benefits. So everything should go into the policy details. Clear? Okay, so let me stop recording.